Ladies and gentlemen, in a world where everyone is racing to look successful, the greatest victory is not beating others, it's beating your old self. Most people waste their energy watching others, comparing, gossiping, and wondering why success is passing them by. But the secret isn't in watching the race, it's in running your own. Today's world doesn't reward the noisiest, it rewards the most focused. If you want peace, growth, and real success, there's only one rule. Focus on yourself, not others. Here are 4 powerful lessons that will change your life if you dare to live by them. When you compare your life to someone else's, you are silently telling yourself that you are not enough. You see their car, their followers, their vacation pictures, their big moments, and suddenly your ordinary day feels like failure, but you forget something critical. What you see is only the tip of their iceberg. You don't see the late nights they didn't post, the tears they didn't share, the fears they buried behind smiles. Social media and society often show us the results, never the process. And if you judge your behind-the-scenes life by someone else's final product, you'll always feel inadequate. Comparison doesn't inspire, it paralyzes. It doesn't push you forward, it pulls you down. You start to question your pace, your progress, your potential, and the moment you do that, you hand over your power. There is a thief that steals your confidence silently, and that thief is comparison. The sad part is most people don't even realize when it begins. It starts small. You scroll through your feed and see someone celebrating a win. You clap, but something inside you sinks. Another post, someone's business is growing. Someone just got married. Someone bought a new home. You want to be happy for them, but you feel like you're falling behind. Without knowing it, you begin measuring your worth by what others have. You start questioning your choices, your direction. You begin walking someone else's path just because it looks like it's going somewhere. But the truth is, even if you run on their path, it won't lead to your destination. Their success is not your failure. Their light doesn't dim yours. But comparison convinces you that you're not doing enough, being enough, achieving enough. It tells you that you're late, when you're just early in your process. Confidence isn't something we're born with. It's something we build. And the foundation of confidence is self-respect. It grows when you honor your journey, even when it's slow, even when it's quiet, even when no one claps. But comparison poisons that process. It convinces you to abandon your path and chase someone else's timeline. And that's the fastest way to lose your peace and purpose. Think about this. A flower doesn't compete with the one next to it. It just blooms. The ocean doesn't care that the sky is vast. It remains deep and powerful in its own nature. You were not made to be a copy. You were made to be a creation. Something that's never been before and will never be again. So why waste your precious time trying to be like someone else? Most people spend so much time watching others that they forget to build themselves. They know what their neighbor is doing, what their favorite influencer is wearing, who their colleagues are dating, but they don't know what's happening in their own soul. They've lost touch with their own dreams because they're too busy following someone else's. But true confidence is quiet. It doesn't shout for attention. It's built in silence, with discipline and patience. When you stop comparing, you start hearing your own voice again. You start seeing your own worth. You begin to focus on your growth, your steps, your little wins, and those are the bricks that build unshakable confidence. You cannot plant the seeds of greatness in your life if your eyes are always on someone else's garden. You need to water your own soil, tend to your own weeds, nurture your own roots, and that requires focus. That requires trust in your timing, in your effort, in your journey. When you start replacing comparison with celebration, things change. You celebrate others without shrinking yourself. You appreciate your current chapter, even if it's not glamorous. You show up daily, not to be better than anyone, but to be better than who you were yesterday. And that's real power. That's lasting confidence. There will always be someone richer, faster, more experienced. There will always be someone ahead in the race. But life is not a race, it's a path, and your path is unique to you. Some people reach their peak at 25, some at 50, some find love early, others find themselves first, some get fame and lose peace, while others stay in shadows but live in joy. Don't confuse visibility with value. What you see doesn't always show you the full story. Focus on your own. Work in silence, build in peace, compare less, create more. Because every minute you spend wishing you had someone else's life is a minute you're not building your own. And if you keep doing that, you'll one day look back and realize you were always enough. You just didn't believe it because you were too busy looking at someone else. Let today be the day you return your attention to the only person who truly matters in your journey. Whatever you focus on, you feed. That's the simple truth. Your attention is the most powerful currency you own, and yet most people spend it like it's infinite. They give it away to distractions, noise, negativity, and other people's lives, forgetting that every second of attention is shaping their future. When you focus on others, what they're doing, what they've achieved, what they're saying, you're slowly starving your own progress. You stop pouring energy into your goals, your dreams, your growth. You become a spectator instead of a creator. And while you're busy watching others build their empires, your own foundation begins to crack from neglect. Most people don't even realize they're doing it. It starts as curiosity, then becomes obsession. They scroll through feeds, check up on people they envy, track their competitors, follow every trend, not because they need it, but because they've become addicted to distraction. And in that distraction, they lose focus on what truly matters. The energy that could have been used to build a business, master a skill, or grow personally is wasted on watching someone else's highlight reel. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and suddenly they wonder why they feel stuck, uninspired, and behind in life. The answer is simple: they fed the wrong things. But the moment you decide to take back your focus, everything begins to shift. It's like cleaning a foggy window. You start to see clearly again. You realize how much power you actually hold when you control your attention. Instead of checking what others are doing, you start checking your own progress. You begin investing your energy in things that build you. Reading, learning, working, practicing, planning. You replace consumption with creation. You stop trying to match someone else's rhythm and start moving to your own beat. And that's when momentum is born. Because momentum doesn't come from speed. It comes from consistency. It comes from feeding your purpose day after day, even when no one's watching. Energy is not unlimited. You only get so much of it each day. Where you direct it determines the quality of your life. If you feed anxiety, it grows. If you feed doubt, it takes over. But if you feed courage, discipline, and belief, they begin to lead. Imagine what your life would look like if for the next year you gave the best of your energy only to things that move you forward. Imagine what would happen if every thought, every effort, every hour went into building your future instead of watching others live theirs. That's not just progress, that's transformation. It doesn't mean you have to be rigid or robotic. It means being intentional. It means protecting your focus like a treasure. Because it is. It's the only way to move from where you are to where you want to be. You'll start to notice a shift, not just in results, but in how you feel. You'll feel less drained, less anxious, and more alive. You'll begin to walk with a sense of purpose. Because when you focus on what you can control, your habits, your mindset, your goals, you move from a reactive life to a proactive one. And that's where real power lies. The world will keep trying to steal your attention. There will always be noise, trends, drama, opinions. But you don't have to answer every call. You don't have to watch every move. You can choose silence. You can choose stillness. You can choose to protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Your future is not built in a moment of luck or in someone else's shadow. It is built in quiet moments of focused effort day after day. So turn your attention inward. Feed what you want to grow. Let your energy flow in the direction of your dreams, and watch how fast your world begins to change. The path to greatness is rarely crowded, because true mastery is a lonely game. Most people aren't willing to walk the road that demands silence, discipline, and patience. They want the spotlight, the applause, the validation, but the real magic happens in isolation. When no one is clapping, no one is watching, and no one is posting about you, that's where champions are made. It's in those quiet hours of relentless practice, those days when you doubt yourself but keep going, those moments where quitting feels easier but you choose to stay. Mastery is not a performance, it's a process, and that process requires focus so deep that the world around you fades away while others are distracted by trends and timelines. The ones who rise to the top are those who are building in silence. Isolation is not punishment, it is preparation. When you pull away from the noise, you begin to hear your own voice. You begin to connect with your vision. You start understanding what truly matters to you, not what looks good on paper or what others expect, but what actually drives your spirit. In this space of solitude, clarity is born. You see the path more clearly. You feel the resistance that needs to be overcome. And you start forging a connection with your craft so deep that external opinions no longer sway you. This is why so many people give up, not because they lack talent, but because they cannot handle the silence. They mistake the absence of applause as failure, when in reality, it's a sign they're finally on the right path. The path of mastery is not loud, it is quiet, it is focused, it is deliberate. When you're chasing mastery, distractions become poison. You start seeing how social media eats your time, how gossip clouds your vision, how comparison weakens your drive. You begin to cut these things out, not because you think you're better, but because you know you're on a mission. And every minute wasted is a minute stolen from that mission. The people who make it to the top aren't the ones who seek comfort, they're the ones who embrace discomfort. They train when no one's watching. They improve when no one's clapping. They keep moving forward without needing to be seen. That's the real difference between being average and being great. It's not about talent, it's about the ability to stay locked in when the world tries to pull you out. Most people wait for motivation to strike. Masters don't. They build routines that carry them through days of doubt. They create systems that support their goals. Even when emotions fade, they understand that emotion is fleeting but discipline is dependable. So they stay the course. They show up daily. They perfect the small details that others overlook because they know that mastery is a collection of invisible wins. Small improvements repeated consistently. And even though the world doesn't see those wins at first, one day it will. One day the results will be so loud that the silence of the journey will make sense. There's also a deep emotional strength that grows when you walk this lonely road. You start trusting yourself. You stop relying on others for direction. You realize that even in your lowest moments, you can keep going. That kind of power can't be faked. It can't be bought. It's earned through hours of solitary effort. When you keep showing up not for recognition, but because your vision demands it. You stop chasing validation because you've already validated yourself through the effort you've invested. That's the kind of confidence no one can take from you. So if you find yourself in a season of silence where no one understands your hustle and few notice your effort, don't be discouraged. That's where mastery begins. It's in the quiet, it's in the repetition, it's in the lonely hours of relentless dedication. Let others chase the spotlight, you chase the standard. Let them seek followers, you seek fulfillment. Let them talk, you build. Because when the noise fades, when the trends pass, when the applause dies down, only one thing remains: who you became when no one was watching. And that version of you, the one built in the silence, is the version that changes everything. Every morning, when you look in the mirror, you meet your true competition, not the people on your feed, not the colleagues in your office, not the strangers who seem miles ahead of you. Just you, the person staring back with all the power to change, grow, and win. The greatest battle you'll ever fight is not against the world. It's against the version of you that wants to stay comfortable, that wants to avoid risk, that fears failure. And until you face that version head on, no external success will ever bring you peace. Because no matter how fast you run, if you're running in the wrong direction towards someone else's standard, someone else's dream, you'll still feel lost. But when your only competition is yourself, every day becomes an opportunity to win in the most important way, by becoming better than who you were yesterday. This kind of self-focus builds something rare: real power. The power to take full responsibility. The power to be brutally honest with yourself. The power to grow without needing approval. When you shift your attention away from trying to beat others, and instead concentrate on beating your past habits, your old excuses, your outdated mindset, everything changes. Suddenly, you don't care who's ahead. You care how far you've come. You stop measuring success by someone else's timeline and start tracking your own progress. Did you show up today with more discipline? Did you push past the limits that held you back last week? Did you choose action over procrastination, growth over comfort, courage over fear? These are the victories that truly matter. The mirror reflects more than just your image. It reflects your effort. It shows whether you've honored your goals or broken your own promises. You can lie to the world, but the mirror sees everything. It knows when you've skipped the work. It knows when you've let yourself down. But it also sees the small wins. The early mornings, the quiet grind, the days you kept going when no one else would have blamed you for quitting. And that's where self-respect is born. Not from loud victories, but from silent consistency. From choosing the hard path when no one's watching. From holding yourself to a standard that doesn't need applause to feel real. The problem is, most people avoid this mirror. They would rather chase competition outside than confront the truth inside. It's easier to point fingers than to look within. Easier to say someone else had better luck, better support, better timing, but excuses are just walls we build to protect our comfort zones. And while they may shield us from discomfort, they also trap us in mediocrity. If you truly want to grow, you have to destroy those walls with daily discipline. You have to stop asking, why are they ahead? And start asking, what did I not do yesterday that I can do today? That's how you move forward, by turning every comparison into a question that leads to personal growth. There's something powerful about owning your flaws, your pace, your unique path. When you realize that no one else can run your race for you, you stop looking sideways. You begin to trust your timing. You learn to respect the struggle instead of resenting it. And that's when your mindset transforms from one of envy to one of empowerment. You stop needing to be the best in the world and focus instead on being the best for the world through your own gifts and purpose. You see the long game. You realize that real success isn't built on beating others. It's built on breaking old limits. Every small improvement compounds. Every hard day survived strengthens your core. Every moment of discipline becomes a brick in the foundation of your legacy. So let the mirror be your mentor. Look into it, not with judgment, but with intention. Use it as your daily scoreboard. Are you showing up? Are you evolving? Are you living with purpose? Because the world might not notice your progress right away, but the mirror will. And the more honest you are with that reflection, the more powerful you become. No competition is greater than the one you face with your old self. Win that battle daily, and success will stop being a question. It will become your reality.